traders, I'm going to do a daily recap. Today is May 25th, 2018. All I traded was Netflix. Oh, hold on, that's not true. I traded more than Netflix. But that's all that's on my mind because it was a heartbreaker. I traded FL and crushed FL too. And a quick short on BABA. So let me go over this real quick and thought process and so forth. So starting off in the morning, right off the bat, looking at the SPY, everything about this. We're right up here. Yeah, let me pull this. Let me show you real quick. Just so we know we're on the same page. All right. So here's the fibs on this. This thing's trading in the range 274-ish. Little pop over here, but it's right at this 274 mark, the 62% and the 50% fib, and over this trend line. And so it's just grinding away roughly between 270, 271, and 274, right in this area. So grinding away. So this morning, right off the bat, I'm thinking pull back into the 270 for a bounce. I'm thinking weakness. It's looking like weakness all day to me. And triple Q's really looking similar. No sense, no need in pulling them up too. But everything about today said weakness to me. That had already sold off here before the open even. Every pop from now, every pop back to any kind of good technical support. 200 MA on the 5 minutes, a good one. This support area, good place to get short. So I was short thesis. I was short bias on really everything today. FL ended up breaking out, but if you do the fibs on this one, same thing. Come down here, it's about 50% mark. We were looking at 50. So I thought, you know, thesis on this, market's going to sell off today, and we're looking at a sell-off back to 50. And if that breaks, we could actually close the gap before we do get a break. But this is a earnings win, right? So the big picture is the long. And so like even as I was trading it, I was talking about here. In fact, let me go over that. First part, let's go over the short side of this. So I'm looking at everything up in here. I'm looking at, I got a pre-market short off here. I added here, covered a little bit, added here. So I was working this high at the pre-market. Every time it came up here and touched this, oh no, this is the wrong side. I got one fill right here. My bad. I got one fill right here, and then every time it came up, I just added into any kind of strength. And at the open, I got some size right here. Dumped into this, worked a core. As it came down here, I ended up getting all out as it broke out here. So I was looking at this trend line right here. So I worked a core all the way down, and then as it broke out, I got all out with my last piece. So I had already covered most, and I had a last piece here, and then it came up. I didn't even bother trying to short this side. Oh yes, I did. I shorted one more time up here. I got in short here, and then looking for it to reject this trend line. As soon as it did that, that's when I was all out. I didn't even bother with this because it was tightening up in a flag, and then everything about this was looking bullish, like it was going to break out, and it sure did. So I played it on the short side from here down, working a core, from here down, working a core, got all out here at the trend break, and that was it. And I did mention it to everybody in the room though that this was looking really good flag breakout. I'd watch for it to, once it breaks this, wouldn't touch it until it did. So right in here is where I'd be looking. Breakout, come back, hold, and go. So never really looked at it, paid much attention to it after that, but that's what I was getting at, was I wasn't going to touch it on the short side anymore after that second short. Netflix. So this is a freaking heartbreaker. This one just, oh. So how do I, let's see if I can, I built in a position short. So the whole time I'm thinking short. I had a short that I did get in here, partial fill. Got a nice fill on it, but it was partial. I got like 300 shares. So I didn't cover any of that, and I was just looking to add out of the money. So I really didn't bother with all this. I took an add somewhere and took a cover here with a small win, I think, and I still held a small piece. So it came up and I started building in short right here. I started in here, and I came in here, and the whole thesis is the market's weak today. I'm thinking sell off today, back to the 370 on the SPY. The triple Q's be selling off for a while. So the whole idea was a short thesis today. This thing has had two huge solid run-up days. You know, this one ran like 12 bucks here and another 8 bucks here or something. So I mean, this thing has gone from what, 325 say to 350. I mean, it's ran almost 30 bucks, 25, 30 bucks in the last couple of days. Huge run-up for this. It would really take a strong market for this thing to push through these all-time highs and go further. So that was the thesis on this. So I built in short here, added here, and I had a nice big fat position right here. And I had a 354.31 stop, and it was over the under over trigger. It hung tight. It hung tight. You know, so I wasn't completely comfortable with it. It hung tight. I wasn't even watching when it freaking triggered my stop, but it hung tight through all this, just expecting this exactly to happen right here. And go figure, some freaking wick has to pop up here, trigger my stop, dump freaking shares right here, and then dump the rest down here. I'm like, what the? I was so pissed off from there. I just wanted to break something. You wouldn't even believe it. I had a nice big fat short on this. So anyway, that's it. Got screwed out of that real quick. Should have never had my stop there anyway, I guess. Um, I usually don't use hard stops when I'm sitting at my desk. The reason I did here is because I didn't really trust myself. I just wanted to get it in place because I had some size and I didn't want to fight this thing if it broke out. So, you know, I did the right thing, put my stop where it needed to be to protect myself. Um, and then, so I took a good loss on this. I got one bounce on the long side right here. And I liked, when I get a bounce, I like to sell half and then stop break even. So I had a tiny win right here and probably gave it back here. And then what did I do here? Let me look at the numbers. Oh my gosh. So once the short thesis was hosed right here, I wasn't even thinking straight. I should have just walked away from this. Should have been looking at getting short here again. But this big fast fall right here, I wanted to get long, and so I did. I got long here and I got quite a bit back, and then as it broke trend here, I covered them all up, or I sold them all as it broke trend here, and I waited for this right here. When it fell down into 350, as this panic was coming, I hit market order full size and got a 350.68 fill and freaking rip with some size. Just crushed it right here. And I was pieced out on most of this. What did we do here? I just pieced out on this. I didn't take any ads. I didn't take any ads until right here on this. I took an ad and then I sold everything but a couple thousand here, and then I got all out here. Didn't even mess with it again for the rest of the day. So got all this back and then some on that. But this would have been like a record trade for me. The thesis was there, the idea was there, everything was spot on, and I let freaking myself get juked out of a stop. Unreal, unreal. What else? Oh, Baba. So Baba, the first time it came up and tested this right here, I got short right here, and I faded it back to here, and then I just got all out. I didn't even mess with it anymore. We watched this happen, man. We were watching it. I was talking about it live. This looked really strong. Right here is where I was suggesting to buy this dip right here as it fell into support. I was suggesting to buy it. I wasn't about to. I'm done. I was done. I wasn't taking any more trades. And sure enough, this thing popped. So very nice. Pull back into support. This would have been another great buying opportunity if I was watching it. But I didn't touch it after that. So that's about it for today. Have a good weekend, guys. See ya. Peace.